reality is boring. You and your fantasies belong on Avatar. If you want what you imagine, today's the day to have a talk. To Avatar on Avatar.
Welcome back to Avatar. I'm your host, Pons. Today, we sit down with Cosmica Datsui to talk about culture, identity, and community in Web3. This one's both thoughtful and practical. We hope you enjoy. Hello, Cosmica. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How about you?
Doing quite fine as well. So, I don't know if you can notice, but I'm a bit sick with my voice, but the- pushing through it right now. So, hopefully, you're
Yeah,
doing well as
seasons
well.
are changing, so it's normal. I hope
I
you get
know,
better.
exactly. Thank you so much. Well, anyway, let's dive into our first question. So, for
For
our first
sure.
question, what first drew you into Web3 and how did you move from observing to actively building in the space?
First of all, I was originally drawn to Web3 because I saw it as a space where identity, ownership, and creativity could be reclaimed. I didn't enter just because of technology, because I entered because I see that with technology, everything is possible, especially now with AI. Anything can possible. And for a while, I wanted to observe it. So for 2 years, I wanted to just see how it goes, how I can adapt to it, because, women in Web3 are not too much. And especially women see this as like men perspective thing, especially the
Mm-hmm.
crypto. So I wanted to make some observations. And after 2 years of waiting, I said to myself, now you're ready to dive in and you don't need to waste any more time for this. So the shift into actively building happened when I realized that waiting wasn't serving to anyone,
Mm-hmm.
especially not women or underrepresented voices. So I understood that if I wanted to see a culture rooted in authenticity, sovereignty, and connection, I needed to help shape it.
Mm-hmm.
So I began by hosting conversation, creating contents for women in Web3 so that they can encourage themselves and show themselves as who they are. And they don't need to know anything to begin from the first step to dive into Web3 spaces. And also, I'm a bit spiritual psychic coach. So I'm trying to emphasize identity and personal mythology and
Mm-hmm.
building bridges across communities. And from there, it grew into projects, events, and partnerships.
Okay, so you mentioned that you mentioned a lot about identity and legacy, and actually, what you said about unrepresented voices is truly something that I can agree on. And of course, as you
Mm.
mentioned as well, that crypto is a male dominated environment, and how
Yep.
you stood up to that challenge or that aspect of this or this portion of and this environment essentially is really
Mhm.
inspiring to hear. And with that being said, you often mention identity, legacy, and culture, not just today, but in your posts as
Mhm.
well. So, what does that phrase mean to you, and how does it guide your work?
I use Crown Your Legacy hashtag because I
Mm-hmm.
believe that in male dominated space, we can create our own spaces as well. And as I said, I want to encourage more women to dive into this because we see it from a different perspective and we think more complicated than men.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to see it from our perspective and like resonate from our perspective and how can we adapt our own legacy in this web3 environment. And lately I was in product management courses of sisterhood. I was chosen, and this was a hashtag that we were using through our courses and sessions. That's why I was using this, so that I can encourage more women to get to know that there are courses to anyone who wants to attend and improve themselves in this environment. And the
Mm-hmm.
crown represents self recognition, claiming our own story before anyone else defines it for us. And the legacy is what we build that lives beyond us. And our impact, our contribution, the imprint we leave on others. So, this was the outcome of my hashtag that I used, Crown Your crown your legacy with my posts. And in my work, I focus on empowering people to build from authenticity, not by performance or by hype. And
Mm-hmm.
Web3 is about ownership. And yes, but it's also about remembering who we are while we build what comes next.
Wow. Okay. That is truly inspiring to hear. Like how you you envisioned this project and then you pushed forward with it and move people and inspire people to do the same, especially women in this
Yeah,
environment or in this career path. And also,
exactly.
I love how you I love how you explained the meaning of crown your legacy. I guess I can somewhat relate to it, and I've heard this. Well, my mom keeps on quoting this quote that she reminds herself, not only herself but also me, wherein she says, "Do not let others dim your light." And
Yes, I
that,
love this word. I love it.
yeah, it truly did resonate with me how you also connect with that sort of aspect that you
Mhm.
should never let others control what you want in life. You should never let control gender, or you should never let gender control what your capabilities are. So
Gender,
that's
culture, where you're from.
exactly. It's more about the talent. It's more about what you can do. So that's
It's
really
all about
inspiring.
believing in yourself, to be
Exactly,
honest.
Cosmica. That's truly, truly inspiring. So, of course, with what you said, events like the one in Singapore with SUI Network gave you visibility in the ecosystem. What was one key takeaway from being there, especially as a woman in Web3?
Oh my God, it was an amazing experience. Like,
Mhm.
I traveled more than 11 hours to be there, and I
Damn.
had some delays on the way. It was so adventurous, but even though I was so anxious, I knew that I was going to grow out of my comfort zone and I couldn't miss this chance. So
Hmm.
I wanted to dive deep. And when I won the grant, Singapore reminded me that presence is power. And being in that room really matters a lot because when I was in that room, I checked the environment. Most of them were male, and
Hmm.
females were like few like us. And especially, I'm from Cyprus, and Cyprus is far away from Singapore. And
Hmm.
being there and representing women in Web3 was such an honoring experience because as women, sometimes we think we need to earn the right to speak or to be seen. But in reality, we're already shaping culture just by showing up with clarity and purpose. And my
Hmm.
key takeaway was that representation alone isn't enough, but we also need infrastructure, opportunities, platforms, and mentorship paths that support women in leadership positions, not only in community roles. And being visible is the first step, being supported is the next.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Like hearing these insights from you is truly breathtaking, to be honest. Like, honestly, with what you said about you being from Cyprus, that's insane. Like,
Yeah.
that's so far away from Singapore. I'm much closer to Singapore than you are. I'm from the Philippines. So, you traveling all the way to Singapore to share your story and
Yep.
your experiences and the things that you're most proud of and you're moved by is truly inspiring as well. And also, you're not just representing women, honestly. You're representing the Cyprus culture, Cyprus in general
Yes.
as the country, and that is something to be proud of, to be honest. So I'm I'm truly honored to be talking to you in this moment.
Thank you
So,
so much for this because Cyprus has a really complicated political issue where
mhm,
we are divided. Like, this is a small island, but we are
mhm,
divided in this small island where one part is recognized by EU when the
mhm,
other part is not recognized. And I am from the unrecognized part, and
mhm,
it's even like more challenging for me to take this step to go there, to believe in myself that even though
mhm.
we're unrecognized country, we can still move the mountains. And this is what I wanted to prove this first for myself so that I can
Exactly.
encourage people around me to do that as well.
So, just a sidetrack, like being in the minority, as you said, of course, you've mentioned that you are at the unrecognized party. How are you feeling right now, and what do you want to, I guess, express more towards what's happening right now in your country?
Like, what's happening in our country is that we're trying to unite since ages.
Mm-hmm.
We're like half of the island, it's
Yeah.
being controlled by Turkish empowerment, and the other side is being controlled by European Union. And we on the side where we're on the north side, the
Mm-hmm.
people, especially people at my age that are living on this side, is really struggling to like make power, make their dreams come true,
Yeah.
improve their life, because we have limited resources and we cannot raise our voices enough to be seen or heard. So we need to fight in this matter much
Mm-hmm.
more than a regular person. Like, yes, I know other countries experience other difficulties, but this has become like, I don't want to say curse, but unresolved
Mm-hmm.
issue that's been going on since
Yeah.
1944. And we're still waiting for something to happen, like if we're going to unite or if we're going to agree that both sides will be
Mm-hmm.
recognized and have like balanced rights, because EU gives other supports whereas we are not taking advantage of them.
Yeah. So you taking these steps, like especially going to Singapore to share your story, has been one of the monumental events, honestly, in my opinion, in you helping Cyprus to have that voice. Because as you said, you are severely underrepresented with the voices that you're trying to reach out for help and everything. And that truly is
Exactly.
monumental for you to step up as a woman and show the world that Cyprus and you as a person can move mountains, as you said. So that is truly
Yes,
inspiring. Well,
thank you
anyway,
so much.
let's take a short break. We'll hear more about Cosmica's interesting stories and once we come back. So we'll be right back.
At Meta Rivers, we're not just building a virtual world, we're celebrating the real, the authentic, the talented souls who show up with passion, creativity, and honesty. People like you. Artists, storytellers, dreamers, explorers, connecting beyond the screen and bringing life to the metaverse. If that's you, join us on Avatalk, our podcast where we share stories from the people behind the avatars. Whether you're creating, performing, or simply vibing in the virtual world, your voice matters. Want to be featured? Find us on Discord, social media, or visit our website. Links are in the description. Meta Rivers, real connections, virtual space, infinite possibilities.
Reality is boring. You and your fantasies belong on Avatar. If you want what you imagine, today's the day to have a talk. To Avatar on Avatar.
So we're back again, still with Cosmica to share more about her interesting stories and truly about everything else that she's passionate about and her projects. So, with that being said, can you share a moment or project you're particularly proud of where community building went better than you expected? What happened and why did it work?
Like, I can say that right now, building Sweet Turkish, being part of Sweet Turkish community is an honor for me, because as I told you that I am from an unrecognized part of Cyprus, it's really hard for us to raise our voice. But
Mm-hmm.
through Sweet Turkish community, it became possible for me and people like me to be able to raise their voice, to experience more, to educate themselves more. And like, I don't want to say like your culture is your destiny. I want to
Mm-hmm.
say like you can expand your culture and how you perceive life. And in this mean, like I'm not gonna uh, speak based on projects, but rather I want to speak something more in depth soul. Because
Mm-hmm.
having a community behind you that is supporting you is so precious, because it encourages you to expand more, to get to know more. Like you can grow knowing that you will have a support, you will have a family behind your back. And
Mm-hmm.
in this mean, the community that is built around belonging is inclusive. And this makes me proud, because they listen before they
Yeah.
teach, they hold space for different backgrounds and lived experiences, encourage creation, not just consumptions, and value emotional intelligence as much as technical skills. So,
Mm-hmm.
in this means, I can say that we need to be recognized as equal architects of the space rather than Yes, building projects is a fun part and good part as well, but holding this on a soul level and binding to each other no matter what happens, because we know the crypto markets go up and down,
Mm-hmm.
and this might affect us on a mental level, and we need to like balance our mental health as well. And having such a community that supports you and always behind you is a big fact, being you in this crypto environment, especially
Yeah,
me as a woman.
yeah. Okay, so you mentioned about the community and how it is, if the term is right, is the backbone of the projects that are being built, right? Because obviously, without the community supporting those projects, these projects wouldn't even cease to exist, right? Like, they need to have
Exactly.
the support, they need to have the right people, the right mindset to for this project or for the projects that you do to work properly. So that's truly, truly inspiring that you found a community in the Suwi Turkish community. And also, that was a really interesting take with crypto and mental health, how you connected the two. Because to be
Mhm.
honest, not a lot of people do talk about that in connection, right? In like in conjunction with each
Yes.
other. Like not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people talk about crypto and mental health. Can we just talk about that briefly? How you've maybe experienced any of that in your own experience, or maybe you've experienced someone else,
Yes, I can tell from my experiences. Like when I got into this community, when I became part of Sweet Turkish community, what surprised me was how naturally it was self-organized around creativity support, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just not to add you into community. They wanted to get to know you more. What are your talents, and how they can help you to improve your talents and to be seen more. And I'm a spiritual ascension coach, and personally, I help people to change their perspectives in their
Mm-hmm.
lives so that they can fulfill their life missions instead of self sabotaging themselves with
Yeah,
negative beliefs, which is highly linked with the mental health. Because if we want to like be rich, we need to be in the state that, yes, I am ready for this abundance and prosperity. But if you're
exactly.
thinking of scarcity level from your mindset, it will not bring you abundance and prosperity, because you will constantly will be living in fear and anxiety of losing money or risking things. But if you change your perspective and think from a different perspective and open your mind to to the infinite possibilities, because crypto helps you to believe in the unknown things, because you never know what's going to happen and it's never certain. So
Mm-hmm.
this is, I think, this is the point where the balance comes, because if you cannot balance your life with your crypto life, because crypto is another level and you
Yeah,
shouldn't get caught in it. And I see most of the people in male dominant spaces, I see most of them get caught in it. And then when they lose, all of their lives depend on this. Whereas I believe that there should be always balance in this ecosystem as well. So it's just not about gaining, earning more money. It's also about being healthy on a mindful level, so that once you earn that money, you will know how to like create more or use that money for your own good.
okay, hold on. I was taken aback by everything you've said. Like, let's go
Yes.
back with the idea of being rich doesn't necessarily mean you should just be on top all the time. You should always be grounded. That's what you said, right? Like,
Yes,
your mental state should
exactly.
always be grounded despite the fact that you're
Exactly.
trying to reach for the top. It's kind of
Yes.
metaphorical in that regard. That's really interesting. And I do agree with what you said. Like, a lot of people do, well, like, I to be honest, I myself have that mindset. Like, currently my mindset is that to get rich, like, you need to fear not getting
Mhm.
rich. Like, you need to fear losing the money. But as you
Yes,
said, it's not the main purpose of getting rich. Main purpose of getting rich is to be happy. And you can't truly be happy if
exactly.
you're always stuck in the fear of losing said happiness. So that's wow, okay. That's really inspiring,
Look,
Cosmica.
it's really linked and interconnected, but the spirituality is a critic because people wants to see a proof where it's going to go. Whereas spirituality wants you to surrender to the unknown and
Mm-hmm.
only to trust yourself on this path, no matter what happens. So if we're going to go
Mm-hmm.
down, we're going to go down. If we're going to go up, we're going to go up. But in the end, it's all about if you're going to lose yourself in the end, or if you're going to you're going to stick with yourself, and you're going to remind yourself that even if you lose or win, you're learning more
Yeah,
experiences, which will help you more in future.
yeah. Specifically in crypto, like crypto is very volatile, right? You could truly lose a lot of
Exactly.
money in crypto, but with that being said, as you said, not the money lost is not, or the money lost is a knowledge gained. Honestly, like you losing the money or you losing to crypto means that you've learned. You should take into consideration
Yes.
something else, something bigger than what you already know, so that next time, of course, you can do better and be more critical about it. Well, again, all of this is not financial advice. We are not. Well, I am not a legal financial advisor,
Yes,
so
exactly. It's only personal advice to
yeah,
ease your mind
exactly,
a bit.
exactly. So this is all
Because
to
sitting
those
down stuck
watching.
in
Yeah,
front of the screen won't help us.
exactly. Should always do our best efforts in whatever it is, whatever passion that we want to achieve and to, strive for.
Exactly.
Wow, okay. So,
Exactly.
looking ahead, what are you most excited to explore in the future in Web3, and why should our audience pay attention?
Okay. I haven't thought about it yet because currently I'm SheFi Season 15 scholar, and right
Mm-hmm.
now I'm being educated on Web3 and how I can grow and expand. But
Mm-hmm.
I have some ideas in my mind where I can create spaces where more women can speak freely and experience their struggles, maybe their own experiences or hard times, where we can like both support each other on a mental level and
Mm-hmm.
on this crypto level, also in women in Web3 becoming together and uniting, because it comes once you unite and once you empower yourselves, you rise together. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about personal win. I believe that it's more precious once you win as a collective, as a community.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Exactly. Like having that personal win is also satisfactory, but being able to share that win with people that you know and you love is something else, something bigger. Like you sharing this win with the community is something bigger than just isolating the win to yourself. I agree with that. So with
Exactly.
with that being said, that was our last question for this episode. I wish
Mhm.
to talk more with you about a lot of other questions or a lot about topics, but we ran out of time.
Same here.
Thank you so much, Cosmica. If you have any social media platforms or projects that you would want to promote, please do let us know. Please share it with us.
Right now, I'm still working on it, but in the near future, I will be informing you about my projects.
Hmm. Can you give us a sneak peek of what it is, or is it top
Yes.
secret?
No. It's not a top secret. I'm already posting some of my highlights from my project on my
Hmm.
Twitter. Let's say X. I'm still calling it Twitter, but it's X. I couldn't
Yeah,
get used to
same.
that.
Same.
I can give you some sneak peeks. As I told you,
Hmm.
that women are afraid of stepping into the unknown, especially where
Yeah.
it's male dominated space.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking about creating a wallet where they will be also educated about how they can uh, like buy or sell, or what
Oh.
to like take notice of, how they can track it. Like it's gonna both educate and also help them guide like where to buy, where to sell, or if they're gonna get liquidated before it happens, like
Yeah.
they will be receiving a warning with the
Hmm.
explanation of if this occurs, this might happen. So you got to be careful about it. Something that they will have more um, knowledge of, because
Hmm.
as women in Web3, when I first got into this, I had no idea
Yeah.
about what I was doing. And I struggled a lot because not everyone is here to help you.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
sometimes they they might even see you as rivalry.
Yeah.
Whereas I believe, as I told you, that we need to be like in unity consciousness so that we can create a powerful woman collective that it can also adapt to this like crypto space.
Mhm.
So in this means this app will be helping for people with no knowledge to be able to win and like buy and sell and get educated at the same time about crypto, how it works, and how they can grow themselves with it.
Yeah. So, to everyone watching, please do stay tuned for this project of Cosmica because this truly would be helpful for everyone that is interested in joining or in participating in this Web3 environment that we're on. So, anyway, thank you so much, Cosmica, for entertaining us for your time. That is truly
Thank
a
you
pleasure.
so much for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. So that's it for our Ava talk with Cosmica. That's Sui. Big thanks to Sui for Cosmica for the time and insights. If you like this video, please subscribe, share this episode, and leave a comment about what you want us to cover next. See you soon, everyone. This is Fonz, and this is Ava Talk. Bye.